Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Wednesday, May 18th. And, the markets have been completely insane for so many of you, and it's very difficult to take. And instead of me doing my tough love, like, grow up, you're an investor, take it, I thought that's not really helpful. And when Mrs. Schlesinger, also known as my mother, starts calling me and worrying about markets, that's when I remember what she has always said to me. She always says, don't tell me not to panic, and don't tell anyone else not to panic. Tell me what to do, but don't tell me how to feel. I thought that's good advice, right, Mark? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually say, you feel whatever you feel about markets. You feel whatever you feel about other decisions in your financial life. We get it. And I'm not judging it. Okay. We'll judge other things, but not that. So we want to acknowledge you've got a lot of stuff going on. The feelings are very strong. What we would like you to try to do is we're going to talk about those feelings. We're going to try to tamp them down, but we don't want you to do anything until we get those emotions under control. Maybe there is something to be done. Maybe there's nothing to be done. Maybe you should just stick with what you're doing, chilling out, and we'll let the process run through the system. Okay. So for now, what I want to encourage everyone to do is if you feel like you're getting a little in your head about any financial decision, give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. Let us know if you'll come on the air. Let us hold your hand. Let us try to do some deep cleansing breaths and then figure out what you need to do next. Okay? Today, we are joined by Joanne, who is on the line from Buffalo. What can we do for you today?
Well, I was listening to one of your past podcasts, and I heard the phrase that you would hold people's hands through this. And I'm very nervous about our 401ks.
Okay.
We did the right thing all our lives. I was a single mom for many, many years, and then married later in life. And we've been able to do the right thing. We max out our 401ks. My husband's 62, I'm 59. So we're thinking, pretty soon, maybe retirement is in the short horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 401ks are crashing. And it seems like every bit we have put in since the beginning of the year is gone. And I know it's only gone on paper, but it's gone in our eyes some days.
Yeah.
And we're just very nervous. Do we continue to max out our 401k at this point?
This is a great question. So, and you're right, it's gone on paper, but if it's not on the paper and I don't see it, it feels gone to me, but it isn't gone just yet. So let's dive into some of the real life stuff that you are encountering. So the first thing is you're 59. Are you working right now?
Yes, we both work full time.
And how much do each of you earn?
My husband around 125 and I'm around between 80 and 90.
Okay. And do you guys work at places that have pensions, or are you working in like a private sector? You're on your own?
We're private sector, but my husband does have a military pension that he receives as well.
Oh, he's currently receiving it?
Yes, he receives it. He's did his 20 years and he receives that.
God bless him. And when you said 125, did that include the military pension or not?
No, it did not.
How much is the military pension?
That's about $12,000 a year.
Great. Fantastic. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about how much money you're contributing to your retirement accounts. Do you know what percentage your husband is putting away, or whether he maxes out his plan or not?
We max out our plan. So we both get paid every other week. So we're putting in $1,000 a paycheck, $4,000 a month. So we max out at the end of the year.
Oh, does Mark just asked with a catch up, meaning you can put $20,500 a year away plus an extra $6,500 if you're over the age of 50. You do everything, right?
We do everything. Yes.
Okay, great. So that's awesome. So let's talk about, we'll do the 401ks first. So Joanne's 401k, how much money is in there?
About $225.
Okay, great. Husband's
340.
Okay, now tell us about anything else that you have that's, invested. Maybe you have a brokerage account or an old IRA somewhere. Anything else out there?
We have an account. We just sold some property. So we just put that money into an American Express account. It's just earning extremely minimal, but there's about 140 in there. We have some I bonds.
How much do you have in I bonds right now?
40,000. We
Great.
did 20 right before the new year and 20 right after the new year.
Fabulous. Besides the money from the house proceeds, do you have other money in a cash account, or is that your whole cash account lumped in there? That's
No, we
140.
probably have another 50,000.
Okay. Tell us about the house. You own it?
We do own it. We have a mortgage of about 250 on it, and it's worth about 450.
You're going to stay in this house in retirement, do you think, or not?
We're talking to our children. One is interested in maybe purchasing it when we decide to retire. It's a large house. It's a 5-bedroom. And our thoughts are when we're in Buffalo, we could stay with them. And then when we're in a warmer climate, I have another son that lives in a warmer climate, best of both worlds. And he's offered to let us stay with him when we're down there. So
By the way, I love these kids right now. This is good. And these kids are all on their own. They don't need your help. In other words, financially. Okay.
No, they're all grown.
Okay, good. Tell us about Social Security and what the game plan is. Like, if I were to look at your full retirement age of Social Security, which is probably around 67-ish, do you know what your benefit would be?
62 was almost 1,800 a month, which I'm not wanting to go there.
No.
65 was at almost 2,600, and 70 was at 3,300.
Wait, you mean 67, right?
67. I'm sorry.
And that was 2,500. And what's the 70 number?
32 something.
Okay, 3,200. Yeah. And what about your husband?
My husband would be, if he retired right now, about 2,500, and I don't know the accelerated numbers for him because
yeah, it's probably,
he doesn't want to talk about it. He wants to retire now, and
brother,
that's why we're turning to you. Yes.
Okay, so how much money do you think you really need to live on? I mean, you guys make over $200,000 a year. You probably have fairly low costs. I presume that the mortgage is a pretty low rate. Is that right?
3%.
What do you think you need to live on? Let's presume you hold the house for now. So what's your retirement need?
We're pretty low maintenance. We don't have any credit card debt at all. No, nothing like that. I have a car payment of $400. It's living expenses, although we have seen that can change in a week's notice in these days.
Yeah. What do you think, though?
I don't know. 5,000 a month.
Let's say $6,000. Let's say $6,000 a month.
Let's say $6,000
because that's like 70. You're maxing out. Mark, do you think that that's too low? Can I say $6,000 a month, or do you want me to go higher than that? All right, let's just say 7. Mark wants 7. He doesn't trust your numbers. He thinks, all right, we'll give you 7. Okay.
All right.
So first of all, I'm going to hold your hands and just say to you, like, I'm not touching any of the money in this 401k anytime soon. And you aren't either.
No.
So that's the good news. How is the 401k invested? Do you know, like, is it sort of half stocks, half bonds? Is it like in a target date fund? How have you guys done with that?
On my husband's, he has a 60-40 split, 60% relatively safe, which continues to earn money, and the 40%, which is crazy right now.
All right.
Mine I have is where you can pick your age. Like I retire at 67, you take care of it for me.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not because I don't know any better. That's
fine. Target date is fine. What's the game plan, though, if your husband says, I'm out of here? Like, forget it. I don't want to work. I mean, there's only so much we can do. We can't like force him, right? Are you going to keep working?
I would like to keep working because I feel like I am happy working.
Yeah. Oh,
my fear is he's going to be retired and then say, I want to travel. I want to do this. And
he's going to have to find some friends and get a girlfriend and go travel. He can travel on his military pension. That's what he can do. So will he have health care coverage because he's military?
We have TRICARE for life.
Okay. That's amazing. And you both do, right?
Yes. I'm covered as long as I live. He's covered as long as he lives.
I mean, I think it's insane not to wait till at least for you. You've got to claim at 67, right? I'd love it if he can wait till 67 because I actually think you probably, if you guys can grid out, like, can he do like another few years? Can you say like 3 years we're done, honey? Like, or is he really done? That's what I need to know.
Well, he has a very stressful job, long hours. So
can he go part-time and do something else and have some fun?
I'm trying to lead him toward that if this is too much for you, maybe something else or
Mhm.
some contracting work or,
Mhm.
something else while we get to where we want to be.
Yeah, that's what I would think. I mean, look, I don't think you have enough money to call it quits right this second. So, if you want to smooth out, I don't want you to sell everything in the 401k, but I'm trying to deal with the bigger issue right now, which is if he calls it quits right now, you are probably, you're going to be under some pressure. You, Joanne, will be under the pressure as the primary earner. And then you're going to start getting freaked out a lot more when the markets start gyrating. How about if we had this game plan? Just go with it for a little bit. He doesn't have to stay at his 125 grand, but could he find a way to make some money in addition to his pension? Maybe it's not 125, maybe it's 60. Okay. Can he do that for 5 years to get him until his full retirement age? And it's just some fun and he keeps working. You keep working. Essentially, what I want you guys to do is keep beefing up your accounts, your not so much your retirement accounts, but that account where you have the 140,000 and the 50, like some of your non-retirement assets. I think it would be nice for you to beef that up a little bit. And then essentially, then by the time you're ready to sell your house to either your kid or maybe not, we don't know. But like when you start to do that, I want you to have a little cash cushion or non-retirement cushion that you can sit atop. Okay. Because look, I think at each of your age 67. So when you are 67 and he is 70, okay, your Social Security plus his military pension is going to generate a lot of money for you. But if you take that money early, then you're going to have this permanent reduction to your Social Security benefit. It's like you're chopping your own retirement tree down way too early. And I don't want you to do that. So I think that the idea here is, can we just keep working for, 5 more years each? And we're going to have to negotiate with him. And maybe it's less for him, frankly. Maybe he doesn't, if he wants to continue working full time, it may be 3 years for him. And then he can potchkey around for a couple of years while you're still working. If you like working, you should keep working. It's the best way to reach your retirement goals. Okay. It just is. And then I wouldn't mess around with the retirement accounts at all. My goal would be for you guys not to touch those retirement accounts until you have to start pulling money out by the force of the required minimum distribution, meaning that you would have to pull it out when the government says at age 72, which may be extended, that you have to start taking some money out. And that would be such a wonderful game plan because you would build up this portfolio. There's nothing scary in the portfolio right now. It's just that everything's going down. So you have been doing everything right. I'm holding your hands. I'm just telling you it could be like a really crappy another 6 months or 12 months, but you don't need this money right now. And we want the 401k money to last not for 5 more years. I'm looking at 30 years in the future. That's what I'm really concerned about. I can tell you, I don't know what's going to happen to the market in the next 3 years, but I know 30 years from now, you will be happy to have the allocation that you have. That's what I will tell you.
So we should continue to invest, max out the 401k.
Well, I want to think about that. Mark, what do you think about not maxing out the plans right now, or maybe maxing out one of them and not the other and pushing more money into the brokerage account?
I would probably have them both, contribute 20,000 and then like take the catch-up contribution and put that in the brokerage.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. So you can say you can put in, let's say 20 or 20,500 is the limit for a 401k, but the extra money, that money that you had, the sale of the property and that extra 50,000, that almost 200,000, every year that you are now putting away 12, 15 grand just sloshes in there. I think that would be really great for you guys. I'd love to see that account jump up in value. And then, of course, you're going to have your I bonds in 5 years also. So, I mean, it would be nice if by the time you got to 3, 4, 5 years from now, that instead of having 200 in that account, that you have closer to 300, that your I bonds, you get your 40 grand. Now you have almost $350,000. You can pull from that account to do fun things between the time that you are collecting Social Security and taking your required minimum distributions. Like you got a little slush fund there. And if you do the house sale, the numbers only get better, by the way.
Right.
How do you, Joanne, you don't love doing this. You like the target date fund. You like just putting this thing. Do you want some financial advice?
I do want financial advice. Yes.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to send you a couple of names of people who might be able to help you out. Okay. And maybe they'll have better ideas than I do, but I think that you're really going to be happier working for at least a few more years. I really do. And I think that that's going to give you, especially like who wants to retire? It's like graduating into a recession sucks. So too does retirement in a recession. Like you don't want to take that risk. So I just had a friend of mine from work who said to me, well, I was going to retire this year. I said, if I were you, I'd work 3 more years. You want to retire on top and not the top of your career, the top of the market, the top of like in a good economic cycle. It does make sense. So that's what I would do. Do you guys have your estate documents done?
Yes, we do.
You were ready for that, weren't you? You were ready for me to ask that question.
Honestly, I didn't think you would, but yes, I am ready for it.
Okay, good. Excellent. And is there anything else that is on your horizon that you think we should know about before we let you go?
I don't think so. I think we're good. I was just very, very concerned about, do I continue putting money into these 401ks and the day after we put it in, it's gone.
Thank you for asking this question, and thank you for asking for a session of hand-holding, because as you can see, everyone listening, or as you hear, the idea around what you do with your investments has everything to do with what you're doing in your real life. And, funny thing is about Joanne and her husband, it's not the markets that would maybe upend your plans. It may be a decision about retiring too soon. It may be a decision about claiming Social Security at the wrong time. So all these things are really important. So Joanne, thank you so much for raising them and giving me the opportunity to drone on.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate all of the advice.
If you, like Joanne, would like a little hand-holding and maybe an idea about retirement and timing and what you should be thinking about, go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. Let us know if you'd be willing to come on the air. If you're not thinking about retirement and you're still scared, that's okay too. I've got a lot of young people who are scared. Mark, all those young people who started investing over the last 3 years.
What? The market goes down? I thought it only goes up.
I know. Isn't that crazy? It goes up and then it can go down. Yes, it's true. Don't forget to sign up for our free weekly newsletter where you can hear more of this robust conversation and content, and you can read it at your leisure instead of me, yakking at you in your ears. All right. It's hump day. So that means that you're almost to the other side of it. I love Wednesdays. I know by Wednesday at noon, I'm feeling a lot better because I would say 70% of the work that I have to do for a week is usually done through Wednesday, unless the markets crap out. And then who knows? Anyway, go to JillOnMoney.com, bookmark that, and that's where you'll find all our stuff. Do me a favor, put your hands metaphorically on someone's back today. Grit, growth, grace. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.